Hey guys, Ray from Love You RV and Boat. A little bit of plumbing maintenance in my RV to do today. Over the last few weeks, I've noticed I'm getting some weeping from these connections on the back of my water heater here. This is the hot one, and down is the cold one. And what's happening is right between where the plastic meets the metal, it's dripping. Now I know that because I usually run using my water pump versus city water. I'm usually boondocking, so I noticed the pump would cycle once in a while for no particular reason. That usually leads me to believe there's been a leak, so it has to repressurize. And since my RV is quite old now, it's approaching 14 years, the last few years, even on city water hookups, I've been using my pump instead, just for that fact, so I could be alerted to any leaks. Because, you know, this is in a hidden compartment, and if it continued to drip quite badly, it would run all over the floor and down below, and I might not see it for quite a while, and I could get some, water damage. Anyway, I'm going to have to change the seals in here. First, I'm going to have to drain the water heater, because the one that's actually leaking is the bottom one there. So while I'm at it, I'm going to change the anode rod as well. Just show you the parts. Okay, so this is the fitting. It's called a Flair-It. It's all throughout my RV. The PEX is connected together with these Flair-It fittings. And you can see inside there's kind of a rubber seal. And I've bought myself a bag of them. This is probably going to start to happen now given the age, so I have lots to repair them if need be. They just unscrew, and then that one pops out. I've also I had bought a 2-pack of magnesium anode rods, so because I'm draining the water heater anyway, I might as well replace it, see what kind of shape it's in. I usually do it maybe once a year anyway. So mine is a Suburban water heater. That's why it has an anode rod. Some of the other ones, I think Atwood, don't have it because they have a different type of tank. So it's right here, and it's a 1 1/8 inch socket that I use to pull it. I think I'm also going to pull the gas tube out and clean it, and I'll probably pull the electric element out, maybe replace it. I actually have a couple spares, so it's probably in rough shape. It hasn't been out for a while. Here's the socket I use, and to get it out I'm just going to use an old torque wrench, so people don't freak out that I'm using a torque wrench as a breaker bar. It's an old one. I got a much better torque wrench for setting torque, so that should come out fairly easy with that much leverage. Kind of helps open this too. Release the pressure first. I better make sure my water pump's off. Yep, water pump was still on. That's coming out pretty easy. Hasn't been in there too long, I guess. No, it's been in there a while. Okay, so that's the old anode rod, pretty well eaten away. Still okay, still was working, and it's good that it is working because it protects the tank from getting rotted out. There will be the new one. And I was wrong, that's not quite one. I was able to get it out with a 1 1/8 socket, but maybe it's a 1 inch. I don't have one, but that seems to work okay. And then you can see the element I'm going to pull out. It needs this special socket. I think maybe it's a 1 1/2, I'm not sure. I'll throw up the specs from the Suburban manual. So she's drained. Undo this nut down here, and I can pull the burner out, kind of give it a clean. It's been working well. We've been on gas for a couple months now. It hasn't been a problem, but I'll blow it out anyway, and I got to pull it out to get at the cover for the electrical element. Okay, so there's the cover off. That's the electrical element. So I make sure my power is off. My breaker is turned off in my fuse box there, so I know there's no power there. There's also a switch right there that you could use, but that's, 110 volts AC power. So you want to be careful right there. Just a couple screws, take some wires off, and then I can get in there with the wrench. Also, I took the gas tube off, and I've just put a little bit of tape on it because I'm going to be flushing the water heater out, so I don't want to get any water in the gas tube. Yeah, that one's been in there a while, a little bit coated. We spend some time in the desert every year, and the water can be quite hard, lots of minerals in it, so it tends to coat these. You get enough coating, and sometimes they can short out, or they can make kind of a singing noise. Anyway, we'll replace that while we're at it. Here's my replacement. It's a little bit shorter than what was in there, but they both have the same spec, 1440 watts. And this one says it's for Suburbans here. It's got a little bit of a warning about taking the gas tube off and not losing the little nut and orifice when you do it. But it should go in there easy enough. Has a rubber gasket there, so it doesn't really have to be tight, overly tight to make a seal. And then it doesn't really matter which ones you put these on because it's alternating current, so it's going to work either way. It's just a big heater element. Okay, got a little water heater flusher thing here. Try to flush out all the debris that collects in there. Okay, all flushed out, and I've cleaned inside there, cleaned up the threads, put the new anode rod in. Now it says in the instructions, put some of the plumbing tape on there, the white latex tape. You'll hear a lot of people say, oh no, that's going to interfere with the electrical conduction of the anode rod, but I've never had that experience, and all the instruction books say to put it in there. I think the threads cut right through and make a good enough connection anyway, so that the sacrificial element works as it should. There we go. I don't like to get it too tight. I just kind of tighten it with my wrench there till it's kind of snug in there. I can always tighten it up more, but I've never really had a problem with that leaking or that leaking. Okay, so we'll go inside and pull the connections off the back and change those seals. After quite a bit of struggle, I was able to get what's left of those seals out. You can see how not much is left of them. They kind of slowly disintegrated, and a couple of times I kept tightening it to stop the drips, but eventually they just got too flat. So time to replace it. Just clean out those threads and that, put the new ones in there, and we should be good to go. Okay, so should be able to just basically hand tighten them. I have a set of channel locks. There is a tool for these you can get, but a little set of channel locks works pretty good. Snug it up. If she leaks up, put a little bit more turns in there, but I think that should be good. Refill the water heater. On the outside, I open up the overflow valve so the air can leave as the water's coming in. So far, we're not getting any leaking. I just have a sham well down there, just in case. No leaks down here so far. This is the valve I've got open. I have that there in case. Behind here there's a couple thermostats that will open and close to maintain the heat. But if something fails and it keeps heating and heating, Yeah, this like expansion tank valve that'll open up and relieve the pressure. And there we go. Should be full. I can hear my water pump turning off in there. So now we should be pressurized. Well, looks pretty good. Go reattach that gas valve, fire up, and heat some water. Not a whole lot goes wrong with this. Sometimes spiders can get in there and build a web and block it. There's a tiny little hole in there that can kind of get blocked too. And when you put it back on, you just want to make sure you don't cross-thread it because it's brass, so it's pretty easy to damage the threads. But it's basically a little compression fit, so you just don't want to over-tighten it either. Okay, let's give her a test. Well, it sounds like the gas came on. Green light. Kind of hard to see the flame in there, but it sounds about right. Here's a little tip I have for you. So I have this temperature minder. It's actually made for checking your fridge temperature, but it works really well for this. I just take its little thermistor and I put it just inside there, and it kind of gives me a relative temperature of what the water heater is at. Usually goes up to, say, about 128. I think 130 is the cutoff for it. But it's a convenient way for us to know what temperature our water's at. Also, sometimes if I'm trying to save water, what I'll do is I will use this, and when it gets to, say, maybe 108, I can just go have a shower by just turning the water tap on, just the hot faucet, so I save water that way. Don't need to mix the two together. So I made a little access door. This was just a panel with a screw on each side, so I'd have to undo both screws to open the panel to get access to the water heater. Now I just put a hinge on this side, little handle, some Velcro. Makes it really quick to get in there in case something's going on or I need to do some work on it. I'm off grid right now, but my inverter and batteries have enough power to run the water heater. So I'm just going to test the electric. There's my inverter there. It's showing right now 92 watts, so it should pop up to like 1500 watts when I throw this. There we go. 1543 watts. So that means the element is working in there. Turn that off. Yeah, those will be handy to have on hand. Be able to replace them as I get leaky connections. Okay, heating finished. No water pump cycling or leaks. And we're at 129.7. Perfect. Till next time, Ray from Love You RV and Boat. Cheers, guys.